I want to welcome you to tonight's call. And I have a special guest speaker with us, Regional Vice President Kim Ford, who lives in Clovis, California, and the part of the country that my daughter Victoria is getting ready to move to in a couple of weeks. And so it has been fun to watch Kim over the years as she's come into Arbonne and to see the caliber and quality of woman that she is. And so when I was thinking about you guys and the different speakers that I want to have come into our organization and to share with us, Kim came to my mind. And I'm not going to tell Kim's story at all. I'm going to let her share that with you. But if you guys will grab your notebooks, you're going to want to be taking notes from Kim. So, Kim, I'm going to turn it over to you. And my notebook is over here, so I'm going to leave for just a second. I'm coming right back. But I'm going to turn this over to you, Kim. And thanks for taking your time tonight to share with us.
Well, thank you so much, Legina, for inviting me. Can you hear me okay?
I can.
Okay, good. Well, you guys are all such lucky girls and guys to be a part of the Vets Nation. She is one of my favorite people. I remember my first VP retreat and the big hugs Legina would give and how welcoming and warm she is. She is just an awesome leader. So you guys are very blessed to have her, and thank you so much for letting me share on your call. I know Legina called me and asked me if I could share my story with you all and maybe give some tips. So am I echoing or am I okay? I think I might be okay.
I think you're echoing because Legina is still unmuted.
Yeah, let me mute me. Thank you.
Oh, I thought I saw a little echo. Okay, that's actually better. Perfect. Okay, so just so you guys know, Legina is right. My name is Kim Ford, and I am from Clovis, California. You all probably don't know where that is, but it's in Central California, between LA and San Francisco. And I've lived here my whole life. I am a registered nurse. I've been a registered nurse for 12 years. And I was exposed to Arbonne in April of 2005. So I was a very new nurse when I was exposed to Arbonne, just a couple years in. And I really did love my job as a nurse. I had just graduated the nursing program. I was working in the burn unit downtown. Here we have a level 1 trauma center and burn unit. So I really did enjoy my job. However, my husband and I were newly married and we had built a home. And it was our dream, right, to build a home and get married and then have babies, just part of our little checklist of things that we wanted to do. And we built a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, nice home, 1,700 square feet, but not anything too crazy. But we really did overextend ourselves by building that home. And I remember getting our house payment and realizing that we had to pay that every month for the next 30 years. And then realizing that all my walls were white and my backyard was still dirt, and we had to put the lawn in and we had to decorate and we needed furniture. And so, you know, we got a little bit overextended. And at that point in time, my husband had just graduated the fire academy. So we were hoping that he would get hired on for the fire department and everything would be fine. But at that point, he was volunteering for free. You all know volunteering is free. And so he did that on weekends, and then he worked at Home Depot, basically for minimum wage during the week. And so needless to say, I picked up 2 more nursing jobs so that I could help pay the bills until he got his job. So I worked full-time at the burn unit, and then I worked part-time at a plastic surgeon's office. See my little children coming in here? They know they're not supposed to. Go, Bubba. Bub. Bye. Bye.
Tina's turn.
Bye.
Mom,
Hold on.
It's Tina's turn to take a shower.
Okay, go talk in.
I
I'm on
know.
the conference call.
Hey, you go to Tina.
Sorry about that. So anyhow, where was I? Oh, so my husband was working at Home Depot and volunteering at the fire department, and I picked up a second job at a plastic surgeon's office just around the corner from our house, a couple days a week. And then we have something called agency nursing. It's kind of like substitute teaching. So I registered with an agency, and I would drive an hour away to a town about an hour away called Hanford, and I worked in their ICU on my days off, just to make our mortgage. So you guys can tell when I got invited to that Arbonne party in April of 2005, I was exhausted. The last thing I wanted to do was have another thing on my list. But my friend invited me from high school, and I felt like I never saw my friends because I was always working. So I made myself go. I didn't have any money to spend on products. I really was looking for the cheapest thing in the catalog when I did go to that party. But as you guys know, because if you've been around in Arbonne, you've heard it a million times. I went to a party and I heard about this business and I realized that it's something that I could do. So Beth Gallardi actually happened to be launching my friend Kelly Featherstone into the business. And it was her launch night and I was invited and I heard all about Arbonne as a company and the products and how Beth was able to stay home with her 4 children, how her husband had just retired and he was a stay-at-home dad now. And my mouth really dropped open to the floor because I could not believe that somebody who had 1 year of college under her belt, because she shared that with us, made 3 times as much money as I did. And I had 3 nursing jobs with a college degree and a lot of schooling. Thankfully, I didn't have student loans, but a lot of people in my position definitely do. So, you know, Arbonne was not something that I ever thought I would do. I would look at companies like this and think that it was a joke, but I was in the right place at the right time. And I realized that many people that are in my position have a lot of student loans. They work 12-hour shifts. They're exhausted. They don't have a way out. They just have a way in, and that's what they're going to do for the rest of their life. And for me, I was pregnant. I was 4 months pregnant with my first son, and I was desperate to be home with him when he was born. And I think that that's the fire that I needed to make the change in my life. So when I did go to this Arbonne party and hear about this business, I was really open to the idea of doing something different, even though it's not what I envisioned my life to be when I was a child. I liked the lifestyle that Beth had and the perks that she was describing. So that night, I decided to book a party for Kelly because, you know, that's how you get free stuff, is by having a party, and I didn't have a lot of extra money. So I decided to book a party, and as I was booking a party, I was asking Beth how much money she made, how many hours she was working, how long she'd been in the business, and I could not believe that she had been in the business for just about a year at that point. And she had already earned a white Mercedes, and she was making triple what I was making. So I decided that I wanted to do this business. Now, a lot of people that are in my position that decide to start Arbonne, and some of you might be in that position where you're working a full-time job and then an extra job and then an extra job. I was also in school at night getting my bachelor's degree, so I was very busy. But I knew that if I didn't do something different, I was going to be a nurse for the next 55 years until I didn't have anything left to do. So when I heard about this business, I decided to get started. And so some of the tips that I'm going to give you guys today are how to build a business while you're busy. Because that's really what I had to focus in on when I sat down with Beth and went through my calendar in April. I met her in the middle of the month, so I decided to get started in mid-April, and I just said, okay, I need to do this. And she said, well, we do 6 to 10 parties a month at that time. And I said, okay, what do I need to do? And I went through my calendar and I circled the days where I had a 3-hour time slot. And a lot of those, I think someone just might have gotten on the call and maybe didn't mute. If you guys hear your background noise, just make sure you mute the phone so there's no background noise. Thank you. So anyways, I decided that I was gonna take my 1 day off a week, which was Saturdays. I worked every other weekend. So every other Saturday, I decided that I was going to take that day and do 3 parties back to back, just fill my whole Saturday with Arbonne. And it was a sacrifice. And I get that people are nervous to give up a day or give up a couple days to make a sacrifice to do something different for your life. But what I came to the realization was, if I don't do something different now, then nothing's going to change. So I have to do something different. And this gal, Beth Gallardi, had made a huge success of her life in a year. So if I just made that sacrifice for the next 6 months, 12 months, couple of years, my life could look a lot different. So I'm going to give you guys some tips on how to do that. And I know a lot of you on the call, if I asked you, have you made the choice to do Arbonne? you know, do you have a purpose in this business? Do you have good whys? You all would probably say, yeah, I have made a choice. I'm on this call. Of course I'm in this thing. But really what I want to ask you guys is, have you made a strong enough choice to where you are going down that hill at 90 miles an hour and nothing's going to stop you? Because that's really the choice that you need to make. Not just getting on the bike or walking down the trail at a leisurely pace, admiring all the trees along the way. You really, my mindset was, I've got to do this quick. I don't have a lot of time to mess around. I have a baby coming and I need to make some changes fast. So if you're in the kind of situation to where maybe you've been in Arbonne for 4 or 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, maybe you've been in the business for a few months and you're not where you need to be or want to be, strap on the helmet, get on the motorcycle and ride down the hill as fast as you possibly can, because it's a lot funner when you ride fast than when you ride slow. And you get through all those, you know, hurdles a lot faster if you just keep going faster. So I'm going to give you guys some tips on how to build this business when you are busy. The first thing that I want to say to you is, don't be outworked. It doesn't matter where you came from. It doesn't matter what talent you have. It doesn't matter how many people you know. It doesn't matter who you are when you start this business. If somebody outworks you, they will get to nation faster than you. If you outwork them, I know it's not a competition, but I just want you to kind of get the idea of, if you see all these people on Facebook going region and nation and getting business builders and promoting and having all this success, they're working really hard. Don't let anyone outwork you. You outwork everyone else. You be the last one standing. You be the person that takes that ride and goes full throttle and doesn't just stop off to have a drink at the restaurant on the way. And let fear motivate you. That's something that really helped me a lot, letting fear motivate me. I was scared to death of having to put my son in daycare. I did not want to do that. My husband was actually going to be the stay-at-home dad and I was going to work. I didn't want that either. I wanted to be home with my babies when they were born. I wanted that flexibility. I wanted to be able to take them to school when they turned 5 years old. So let the fear of what if this doesn't happen motivate you, because it makes you pick up the phone and do the work and get it done faster. Don't let it paralyze you. Let it motivate you. There's two very big different things there. And then I have some time-saving tips for you guys. I think I have 5 of them. If you're busy, if you work a full-time job and you feel like you've really got to work Arbonne around your nooks and crannies, just so you guys know, I'm a regional vice president with Arbonne. I started the business in April of 2005. I got in qualification with $2,800 in sales in April as a team of 1. Then the next month we did $14,000 in sales. So we went from 2,800 to 14,000. I wasn't doing any more personal parties. I was just helping people get started. And I went from a team of 1 to a team of 3. And then the next month, I think we did $20,000 and I went to an area managers retreat in Oklahoma and I loved it. It was my first retreat. Legina was one of the first people I met there. And then from there, we left that retreat and came straight back and went and qualified for region and then finished. So I was a regional vice president 6.5 months from the day I started this business. And it was really a team effort, but it was because I didn't stop and smell the roses. It was because we got on the motorcycle and we went down that hill as fast as possible and we got our hair wet. You know what I mean? So the first thing that I want to say to you guys is I didn't have a lot of time to study. I didn't have a lot of time to read books. I was driving back and forth to work. However, I was in my car every day. So the first thing that I would give you a tip on is use your time wisely. Make your car a rolling university. Listen to SoundCloud, put it on speakerphone when you're driving. Put a recorded call on speakerphone. Listen to YouTube videos, but don't watch them, you know, when you're driving. I mean, whatever it is, put it on audio, get some books on tape. Those are all things that you can do when you're already going where you need to go. And my kids listen to so many books on tape and so many SoundClouds. They know who Rita Davenport is. They know who Carlita Nelson is. They know who Debbie Neal is. They know all these people. And they also are learning these great tips on how to be a better person while they're on their way to school with me. So do it when your kids are in the car. I've had some friends say, oh, well, we listen to kids music. Well, that's one change that you might want to make is change it to something that's not only going to help you, but also help your family, and use your time wisely. The other time saving tip that I would say is give away responsibilities that you don't necessarily have to do. Do you have to go grocery shopping? Do you have to make the dinner every night? Are you the one who has to do the laundry and the dishes? Or can you kind of give those responsibilities to other people in your household? Because when I was building this business, I told my husband, hey, we're going to have crock pot meals. You know, I'm not going to be able to make dinner every night. And you're going to have to, once I had my son, you're going to have to bathe the kids and get them ready for dinner and do their homework with them. Now he does homework with them on nights that I have Arbonne parties. So giving away a lot of that responsibility allows you to have the time that you need to build your business the way you need to build it. So just giving away, giving up things that waste your time as well. Facebook. Now, if you use Facebook as a tool, that's a different story. But if you're just on Facebook browsing what everybody's doing and playing games and spending hours and hours and hours, that is a time waster. But if you go on Facebook to connect with people and private message them and invite them to events and connect with people you haven't seen in a while and get their phone number, that's different. So make sure you're using those tools to your advantage. The other thing too is I gave up TV for the first couple of years in my business. I did not watch TV at all. And if there was a show that I really, really enjoyed, I just recorded it and I watched it at midnight when I was done getting everything done with my Arbonne business. And I stayed up till 2 in the morning because I wanted to veg out for a while. But I definitely didn't watch TV from 6 to 10 p.m. at night and waste all that time that I could have been using to call people and connect and do parties and things like that. So save time by doing things like that. The next thing that you can do is save time by being organized. I know organization is not everybody's strong suit, but if you just have some sort of system that you have to keep you organized, you will save so much time because you're not running around trying to find what you already did. So one of the things that I do is I have a note section on my cell phone. I'm sure we all do. And I save recorded phone calls to that note section, and only the recorded phone calls that I'm going to give to a prospect. So I have the Gen Y video saved. I have a recorded Discover Arbonne that I did. I have a different link to the website for whatever it is that you like to share with your prospects. Save those in the note section and title them so that all you have to do is copy and paste it to a text when you're meeting somebody. The other thing that saves me a lot of time is having a spiral bound notebook and keeping lists with me wherever I go. You can also put it in the note section on your phone. You want to have a continuous list, something that you can keep with you at all times, of people that will book parties for you or said they would or someday will or cancel that needs to reschedule. And then you also want to have a separate list of business builders, people at parties that said, yeah, maybe someday, or yeah, I need extra money, or whatever it is. You want your list to be super long too, so that when you are super motivated and doing your 90-day focus and all this stuff, you actually have a list to work off of and you're not wasting time trying to recreate a new list. So you always want to have that. And then also you want to keep those lists with you wherever you go, because when you're in the parent pickup line or when you're at school and the kids get out late, you could make a couple phone calls. Or if you're at the soccer field and there aren't any parents there for you to be talking to about Arbonne, you could be making a few phone calls with your calendar right in front of you. So when you're on your lunch break at work, you can have that list and kind of run off of it. So if you're always on purpose and you have your list with you and not at home, then you can get a lot done when you're out and about. So those are some tips that I have. One thing that I learned a long time ago, I can't remember where, but from a million different people, they all say it, is get a spiral bound notebook. Write down the 6 most important things that you're going to do for your business that day. Not your life, not your laundry, not your kids, but your business. It could be 6 people that you're going to call, individual names. It could be, you know, call my preferred clients. It could be follow up with my hostesses, whatever it is. But use that in a spiral bound book and check off what you do every day and then flip the page. Because then you can look back and put the date at the top of that page. So that way you can look back and see what you really did on a daily basis for your business. Because a lot of times I think that we think that we're doing Arbonne when really we're just thinking about Arbonne and we're not doing that income producing activity. So if you keep that spiral bound book with you, then you will be able to make some big changes and get a lot accomplished and kind of look back and see what you've done. Another tip that I'd like to say when you have those lists is your phone is your business and your phone is your best friend. I get that we have a love-hate relationship with the phone. We all do. But my tip that I give people all the time is dial the number before you even have a chance to freak out. Because then once the phone's ringing, you're not going to hang up. And so when they answer it, you can freak out in your head, but you're not going to stop. Oh, I'm echoing again. If anybody just logged in, just make sure you mute yourself. Okay, I think it's better. Okay, so make sure you dial that number before you freak out. I have a lot of girls on my team that will have a list of numbers and they'll freak out for 20 minutes and they'll think it over and over in their head. And then by the time they had that block of time to work their Arbonne business, it's over because they freaked out for an hour. So you really want to make sure you dial it first and then freak out. And by the time they answer, you'll already have a chance to talk to them. Another tip that I'd like to say is, when you're at a party, you want to build relationships with people at that party. And I get it. We're all busy. Sometimes we want to go home and get to our kids. But in my philosophy, I'm already at the party. My husband's already got the kids squared away. If I get home at 8 p.m., it's really no different if I get home at 9 p.m. to me. So my kids are already going to be in bed. So I stay late at my parties because I want to use that time most effectively. I don't want to be rushing out the door because I want to get home by 8 or 8:30. I want to stay. I want to be eating chips and salsa with the girls. I want to be getting phone numbers from these people and giving them the links to these calls and setting up coffee dates. And I want to be the last one at that party because I'm already there. So it saves me actually a lot of time by staying late at the party because you can get so much more accomplished when you're sitting there in front of them than spending an hour trying to follow up with all these people later, which you will do if you have leads with them, but you might as well create that momentum at the party. So at the end of every single party, I sit with the hostess. I get her host rewards. I don't tell her to call me with them later. I do it all that night. And then I talk to her about how successful her party was. Your host is your number one prospect for the business. And I tell them, hey, Legina, you just had a $500 party and your friend Kim just decided to do the business. If you've ever thought of doing something like this, now's the time because she can be a part of your team. And so I always prospect the host and tell her what's in it for her and how her party became a success and kind of paint that picture for her that this party we just did could be her launch party and I could put that whole thing underneath her. So that actually saves a lot of time by doing that right then and there at that party when it's over. And if her friends stick around and hang out and they're not leaving, I stick around and hang out and eat chips and salsa and get to know them. And a lot of times we end up talking about the business. So you just never know. It is really time saving. I know you feel like you're spending extra time at the party, but it does save you a lot of time in follow up. And then the next tip that I'd like to give you is to start with the business first. That is my number one tip for success. That is how I went region in 6.5 months. That's how I replaced my income as a nurse in 4 months because I duplicated. And you can go out and you can sell products all day long. And I get it, you guys, we love these products and they are so awesome and we think they're great and we want everybody to use them. But I'm sure you've heard this a million times. People do not go to bed at night worrying about their wrinkles. They go to bed at night worrying about their future and their children and their time with their family or lack of time, I should say. So start with the business. When you call people, don't call to ask them to host. Call and ask them if they're interested in joining your business. If they say no to that, then ask them to host. If you're at a party, talk to them about the business first after the party's over. If they're not interested, no big deal. Then you can go down to hosting. And if they don't want to host, then you can go down to a sample. But you have to start. Alarm for our conference call. It's kind of hard to start from a sample and then work up to a party and then work up to the business. It takes more time. And if you're busy and you have a lot going on and you want to use your time the most wisely, you want to start with the business first. Because think about it, a business builder can turn into 3 launch parties and then another 8 parties after that in a month. versus a hostess who does one party. And then you're getting a couple off of that. And then a couple weeks later, a couple off of that. So you really are getting a lot more activity as well for your personal business when you do that. But not only that, you're helping other people. And you're helping fill that void that people have that they don't know this can be the answer for. So you really are changing lives when you do that. And that is my passion, is helping people get out of their own way, be confident in their future, and give life to other people, because a lot of people don't have that hope that we have in Arbonne. So my best advice is to give that hope away as freely as you can and paint that vision. I'm sure you've heard Tammy Clinton talk about VP means vision painter, and that is really what it is. If you feel like you're having a hard time prospecting people or getting people to jump on board to your business, you really want to ask yourself, am I all in? Am I on the motorcycle going down the hill as fast as possible, or am I sitting at the cafe on the way having a drink? Because people are going to join you when you're on that ride, not when you're a part of it but not really going. The other thing too is when you are all in and you are riding that motorcycle as fast as you can down that hill, the excitement creates a commotion and people want to be a part of that. So the way you talk will be very different than if you're not all in. The way you talk will be confident. What you say will be where you're going, not where you hope to go. So ask yourself, if you feel like you're having a hard time building a team, do you say where you're going, or do you say, I hope this is going to happen for me? Because you really want to be confident, because people are going to follow a leader. They're not going to follow a follower as apt as they would be to follow a leader. So it is awesome to follow the leader in this business and kind of monkey see, monkey do, and duplication and keeping it easy. But you want to be a leader for your own team too. You don't want your team seeking out other leadership because you don't have that to offer them. So you want to paint a vision for people of how Arbonne can fill their need and how Arbonne can make a difference in their life. So ask a lot of questions if you feel like you aren't duplicating. Figure out what it is that they are missing in their life, what it is that they want, and then talk to them about how this business can fill that. Because if you start with the business first and you're feeling like you don't have a lot of time to build this business, you will get so much more done by duplicating than by going out and doing a million Arbonne parties all by yourself. So those are kind of the tips that I have for you guys. I hope that that was helpful, Legina. I'm not sure how long your conference calls are, but I tried to keep it to 30 minutes. You're muted, I think.
There you go. Now I'm unmuted.
Okay.
Thanks so much. I kept looking down because I was like, oh, that's good. I need to write that down. That's good. That's good. And I just love your enthusiasm and your 90 miles an hour, because you're right. When the commotion is coming, people are attracted to it. And I can see over the ebb and flow of my business that when I'm all in, then I attract business builders to me like crazy until I can't keep up with them. And so it's just an amazing. And I love that you gave so many different practical tips on how to work your business through life. Kim, do you mind going over your numbers again? Do you have that written down? I must have missed a month. You went from 2,800 your first month in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So my first month in, I did 2,800. The next month we did 14,000 because I was a team of 4 of us.
Okay.
Then the next month, I think we did around 20. Okay, so that's April, May, June. Then in July, I think we did like 25 or 30.
Okay.
I can't quite remember. And then in August, we went in qualification for region. And we did region over 3 months. So August, September, October. And then November 1st, we went region. And November 3rd, my son was born. And we drove him home from the hospital in the white Mercedes.
I remember that. I remember that.
And now he's 10 years old.
Ah, amazing. And he just came into the office, right?
No, that was my 7-year-old.
Okay. Hey, you can do this business if you want to, where there's a will, there's a way. And that's exactly what you showed us tonight. So Kim, thanks for your time. I know you've got another call that you're getting on. And you guys, I love all the practical tips that Kim gave us. And our 90 days of consistent activity. Can you see where Kim did 90 days and you were an area manager getting bonus money after 90 days? And so listen to this recording again. I'm going to send it out later tonight. I'll pop it in your box too, Kim. And then work. If you've decided that you're going our 90-day plan, we've got 20 days of doing it. Decide today, because there's time for you to finish it yet this month. So jump on the motorcycle, because we're going, and we'd love to have you come with us. Kim, thanks again for your time, dear. Good night. Good night, team. Love you.